At the beginning of the story, a girl in North Korea is walking home along a deserted road. Suddenly, two boys driving around in a car spot her. They stop the car in front of her, and before she can even understand what's happening, they forcibly kidnap her. Sitting in the back seat of the same car is a very handsome boy named Kim. In the next scene, inside a locked room, the girl is subjected to one brutal act after another. Kim's two friends assault her, and even take pictures of her in that condition. They also brutally injure several parts of her body. The poor girl, in excruciating pain, keeps begging for her life. Meanwhile, Kim, the gang leader who has remained silent until now, watches everything from a distance. He then walks over to the girl and stares at her badly injured face with fascination. He gently strokes her face, and the very next moment, he strangles her with a wire, brutally killing her. After that, the story takes us to an honest North Korean officer named Ri, who is investigating the murder of an entire family. Every member of the family, including the children, has been brutally murdered. Later, he discovers that this was the family of the same innocent and helpless girl whom Kim and his friends had kidnapped. In other words, Kim had not only killed the girl, but had wiped out her entire family as well. While investigating the murders, Officer Ri eventually tracks down the real culprit. He then takes all the information he has uncovered to his senior officer, but that's when he learns that this isn't Kim's first case. Kim had already murdered several girls before. However, despite having solid evidence against him, the senior officer orders Ri to close the case. The reason is that Kim's father is a very powerful political figure. Because of his influence, arresting Kim is practically impossible. Instead, for conducting an impartial investigation against Kim, Officer Ri and his entire team are fired from their jobs. 3 years later, the story moves to Seoul, the capital of South Korea, where a series of brutal killings has been happening for several months. The police have completely failed to catch the killer, and the entire department is under huge pressure. Things get so bad that the main investigating officer in the case eventually commits suicide. After that, the case is handed over to a tough and hot-tempered police officer named Chai Yi-do. One day, Chai Yi-do gets a report about the body of another girl who has been brutally murdered. Just like the previous victim, she had been tortured and strangled to death with a wire. After a long and intense investigation, the police find a DNA sample from an eggplant recovered from the victim's private parts during her autopsy. They strongly suspect that the DNA belongs to the killer. Chai Yi-do immediately orders his entire team to compare the DNA with samples from criminals and suspected offenders across the city. Meanwhile, two senior officers from South Korea's National Intelligence Service are secretly meeting to discuss the serial killing case. One of them is an agent named Park, and during the meeting, a shocking truth comes out. The NIS already knows exactly who is behind the killings. It turns out that Park's boss made a secret deal with the CIA in exchange for a promotion. 2 years earlier, he had ordered Park to secretly bring a V.I.P and his two friends out of North Korea and safely into South Korea. During the meeting, Park's boss explains that if the truth gets out, or if the V.I.P is caught for the murders, it could cause a massive scandal and raise serious questions across the country. That's why he orders Park to take the V.I.P into custody before the police can get to him, no matter what it takes. But there's a problem. The police have already matched the DNA found on the victim with the V.I.P's DNA. As soon as Park hears this, he rushes to the V.I.P's hideout with his team. When they arrive, they discover that the V.I.P is none other than Kim from North Korea. Park is just about to take Kim into custody when police officer Chai Yi-do arrives with his entire team. Since Chai Yi-do has a valid arrest warrant, Park has no choice but to back down. Park immediately calls his boss and tells him that the police have taken Kim into custody. Then, one of Park's agents tells him that Kim's two accomplices have also mysteriously disappeared, and there is no trace of them anywhere. Park becomes extremely worried and orders his men to find the two men as quickly as possible. In the next scene, Kim is sitting in the interrogation room with his lawyer. During the interrogation, his lawyer argues that Kim wasn't even at the crime scene when the murder happened. He also has an alibi, claiming that Kim was on a road trip with his friends in another location at the time. Chai Yi-do smiles and asks him how Kim's DNA was found on the victim's body. Kim answers himself, saying that he has been farming as a hobby for the past few years, growing vegetables like eggplants and cucumbers. He explains that he regularly gives some of his vegetables to his friends and neighbors, so he has no idea how an eggplant containing his DNA ended up with the victim. But by this point, Chai Yi-do is completely convinced that Kim is the real killer. That's because he had only asked Kim about the DNA. He never mentioned anything about the DNA found on the eggplant. Yet Kim brought up the eggplant himself without even being asked. Soon after, the entire police team starts collecting footage from CCTV cameras and car dash cams across the city. They have to prove in court that Kim wasn't actually on a road trip at the time of the murder. After searching through the footage day and night, they finally manage to find footage placing Kim at the scene. Meanwhile, an unknown and mysterious man is shown brutally torturing Kim's two accomplices. The mysterious man tortures one of them to death. Then, for some unknown reason, he leaves the other man badly injured in the middle of the road. As soon as Park's team receives the news, they rush to the scene, take the injured man into custody, and bring him in. Meanwhile, the full truth about the secret deal between Park's boss and the CIA agent finally comes to light in front of the NIS's top leadership. After the shocking truth about the case is exposed, Park's boss is immediately removed from his position and fired as punishment. After that, Agent Park is given one final chance to clean up the entire mess, with strict orders to end the case as quickly as possible. In the next scene, Agent Park goes straight to the police chief with a proposal. He says that Kim's captured accomplice will be declared the real killer behind the entire series of murders. He also promises to arrange all the evidence needed to officially close the case. In return, he wants Kim handed over to the NIS. With the media pressure growing by the day, the police chief finally accepts the deal, hoping to protect his own reputation and the department's image. As planned, Kim's captured accomplice is presented to the public as the real serial killer behind the entire case. Officer Chai Yi-do is then given strict orders to release Kim without any conditions. Chai Yi-do can clearly see that some major political game is being played behind the scenes. That night, he returns home furious and frustrated. But the moment he steps inside, he finds the mysterious man who had been punishing Kim's accomplices waiting inside his house. The mysterious man turns out to be none other than Ri, the honest former North Korean officer. After revealing his true identity to Chai Yi-do, Ri tells him the painful truth about the past and explains how Kim had murdered innocent girls. He reveals that when he started an impartial investigation against Kim, his entire team was tricked into going to a camp. There, Kim and his monstrous friends brutally tortured and murdered all of the police officers. Ri was shot as well, but somehow managed to survive and escape. Ri then reveals another part of the conspiracy. 2 years earlier, Kim's extremely powerful and influential father had been arrested in North Korea on serious charges of plotting a coup and conspiring against the government. That's why the CIA secretly helped Kim escape the country. Ri suspects that Kim has something the CIA wants. Just then, Chai Yi-do gets a call informing him that Kim is being released. Agent Park's team has already arrived at the police station to officially take Kim into custody. Chai Yi-do immediately rushes there because he knows very well that Kim is the real killer. He does everything he can to stop them, but Kim deliberately provokes Chai Yi-do, trying to humiliate and anger him. Unable to control his temper, Chai Yi-do snaps and starts beating Kim furiously. The media standing nearby immediately starts taking pictures. As the situation gets out of control, the NIS agents quickly take Kim away from the station. The very next morning, Chai Yi-do is suspended for a few days because of the incident. By now, the NIS has taken Kim fully into its custody, but Kim doesn't stop there. The moment he gets a chance, he launches a deadly attack on a female agent who is assigned to guard him. When Agent Park hears about it, he loses his temper and starts beating Kim. But even after being beaten so badly, Kim shows absolutely no remorse. Instead, he smirks arrogantly and says that he was just having a little fun with the girl. Next, we are introduced to CIA agent Paul. From the very beginning, the CIA has been protecting Kim for one major reason. Before Kim's father was arrested, the North Korean government had entrusted him with control over several secret bank accounts in China. Those accounts contained billions of dollars, along with highly sensitive and classified documents. Kim is now the only person who has complete access to those international bank accounts and secret information. That's the only reason Kim remains completely calm. Kim now makes Paul a direct offer. If the CIA can safely get him to America, he will hand over all the information about those Chinese bank accounts. Paul agrees to the deal. On the other hand, Inspector Ri receives a phone call about a horrifying incident that took place in Hong Kong. While he was living there, Kim kidnapped 2 innocent girls, assaulted them, and then brutally murdered them. But Kim took his depravity even further. He recorded videos of the horrific acts and sold them on the black market for a huge amount of money. In one of those videos, Kim's face is clearly visible. Chai Yi-do immediately meets with Ri, obtains the incriminating video evidence, and gathers all the necessary legal documents related to the Hong Kong murders. He then heads to Kim's hideout, fully prepared to arrest him again. In front of all the officers and agency representatives present, he plays the video on a large screen, exposing Kim's entire dark past. The moment Kim's horrifying truth is revealed to everyone, the arrogant smile finally disappears from his face. Panicking after being exposed, Kim tries to attack Chai Yi-do, but Chai Yi-do and his team manage to take Kim into custody and bring him back to the police station. However, shortly after they arrive, the police chief, under pressure from higher authorities, suspends Chai Yi-do and his entire team. They aren't even allowed to step inside the police station. Outraged by the blatant injustice and political pressure, Chai Yi-do gets into a heated argument with the police chief. Chai Yi-do realizes that there is no way to stop Kim through legal means anymore, so he takes Kim and escapes alone in a car. But no one is willing to help Chai Yi-do with the case, and eventually he has no choice but to hand Kim over to the CIA. A short while later, agents from both the CIA and NIS arrive at the location. Agent Park tells Chai Yi-do that he knows former officer Ri has been giving him all the information. During the conversation, Kim suddenly seizes an opportunity, grabs a pistol from one of the agents guarding him, and runs straight toward Officer Chai Yi-do, firing several shots at him. Neither the NIS nor the CIA agents present are prepared for this sudden, deadly attack. Even after shooting Chai Yi-do, Kim calmly surrenders with the same terrifying smile on his face. Seeing what has happened, the CIA agents quickly take Kim away to get him to safety. But Agent Park has finally had enough. Determined to put an end to the monster known as Kim once and for all, he follows them in his car. Just then, former Officer Ri suddenly rams his car into Kim's vehicle as part of his plan. Kim realizes what's happening and tries to escape, but before he can get away, Ri grabs him and drags him into his own car. Agent Park, who has been following them, arrives at the scene moments later. But to everyone's surprise, instead of stopping Ri, Park deliberately gives him a chance to take Kim away. In the next scene, Ri and Kim are shown traveling by boat toward the North Korean border. Meanwhile, Agent Park learns from his boss that just a few days earlier, Kim's father had returned to power in North Korea with his political influence fully restored. Ri had no idea that this political change had taken place. Suddenly, while on the boat, Ri sees that Kim has freed himself from the ropes and is standing in front of him, pointing a pistol at him. Before Ri can understand what's happening or defend himself, Kim shoots him without hesitation. Everyone else on the boat was not loyal to Ri at all. They were actually Kim's men. Meanwhile, as punishment for his failure, Agent Park is sent away from the country for field duty. Several years pass, and we see Park in Hong Kong with CIA agent Paul. During their conversation, Park learns that because of certain rules and restrictions, the CIA can't carry out the job themselves, so Park has to do it for them. Paul hands him a pistol and tells him that he has 15 minutes to get a man out of a room in the building across the street and put him into the car waiting outside. Park enters the building and starts shooting the armed men inside one by one as he makes his way toward the room. After taking down everyone in his path, Park finally reaches the door of the target room. As soon as he enters, he shoots everyone else inside as well. Then a shocking truth is revealed. The V.I.P. Park was sent on this deadly mission to safely extract is none other than the ruthless criminal, Kim. It turns out that after another sudden coup and change of power in North Korea, Kim's father was killed. As a result, Kim had been hiding in Hong Kong to save his own life. Now, when Kim sees Agent Park again, he smiles because he knows he's no longer in danger. He completely trusts his old luck, believing that, just like every other time, the CIA will save him again. But instead of safely getting Kim out, Agent Park suddenly shoots him in both legs. Kim is completely shocked. Writhing in unbearable pain, he screams, asking Park if he has forgotten what a powerful and important VIP he is. But Park doesn't listen to a word he says. He fires several more shots and kills Kim. Afterward, Agent Park walks out of the building carrying a heavy bag. He approaches Agent Paul, who is waiting outside, and tells him that what Paul has been trying to get for all these years is inside the bag. But when Paul eagerly unzips the bag, he finds Kim's severed, blood-soaked head inside. Paul screams at Park, telling him that he has made a huge mistake. Park simply smiles and tells him that the CIA has been fooled all along. Kim never had even the slightest bit of information about those Chinese bank accounts. On top of that, immediately after the recent change of power in North Korea, the Chinese government had already seized all the money and confiscated all the important documents from those accounts. Park then looks Paul straight in the eyes and tells him, "Now that's the CIA's problem." He also gives Paul a stern warning. If Paul ever makes the mistake of contacting him again for any kind of job, Park will kill him too. And with that final scene, the movie comes to an end.